Alright, some of you might know, NBA Live hasn't released a game in a while. It's actually just past the 3-year mark since they last released, but who's counting? Me, I'm counting. By the day, the last title released was NBA Live 19, which, to be fully honest, was some of the most fun I've ever had playing a video game, and I just finished playing Pokemon, so take that for what it's worth. I don't know why I felt the need to grab this, as if that's something to lie about. Also, phenomenal investment, top tier investment. Would recommend. 10 out of 10. Nah, but for real, it's been 3 years since EA put out another NBA Live title, so I want to explore why that is. And honestly, it might not be that EA is not trying to put out their games. I think they are, and I think you will think that too, hopefully, if I summarize everything in this video correctly. And I actually think there's a ton of evidence to suggest that it's the NBA who is their biggest roadblock. Yeah, it might actually be that the league isn't allowing 2K to have any competition, and in the process, depriving me of my happiness. The nerve, the gall, the audacity. What's good, y'all? My name is Malik, and this is The Business of Sport, a channel dedicated to none other than, yes, the business of sport. If you're new here, I just want to give you a huge thank you for taking the time to click on this video. For real, it really means a lot. I put a lot of time, effort, and research into these, so the fact that you cared enough to click on this means the world to me. And if you're interested in stories regarding the business of sports or things adjacent to sports, as you can see, this is a video about sports video games, hit the subscribe button. At best, you learn something new, and at worst, you support me. Whether or not that's something you should be doing, that's a personal decision. Maybe I'm not worth your support. I think I'm pretty dope though. I think we're pretty dope. I think we got a dope little community over here. And speaking of community, I just want to give a round of applause to all of y'all. We just hit 100 subscribers, which is insane, bro. We hit triple digits, baby. 3 digits. Let's go. Can't put that on the back of a jersey. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Find me a triple digit jersey. Can't find one. No, sir. We are no longer a jersey number. We are an area code. Let's go. Area code 10 whatever we're at. Man, but for real, I just want to say thank you to each and every single one of y'all. Your support, your love, every comment y'all be leaving, every thumbs up I get, every time I see any of those, I get a little flutter in my chest, you know, little butterflies. I really do feel like extremely grateful for y'all. So one more time, just want to say thank y'all, love y'all, appreciate y'all, and without further ado, let's get to it. So alright, this story actually starts a few years back, more than a decade actually. After being neck and neck for some time, NBA 2K was pulling away as the better basketball game towards the late 2000s. That was until 2009, which was the last year there was a legitimate discussion about which of the two games was the definitive, primo, best of the best basketball game on the market. NBA 2K10 was more innovative, as this was the first year they introduced My Career. That said, NBA Live 10 was no slouch, and though it lacked a few features, it succeeded in developing a realistic, while entertaining gameplay, a hard balance that I would still argue 2K to this day struggles to find. The moral of the story is that game was dope. In comparison to NBA 2K, it's neck and neck even in the reviews. And it was after this we hit an inflection point, and a true disaster happened in the form of the following year's game, NBA Elite 11, which was EA's new, improved, revamped title that was set to succeed NBA Live and was supposed to include a My Player equivalent to NBA 2K. This was NBA Live's answer to 2K and a chance for them to continue their upward momentum into the new console generation that was only a few years away.
What the f***? Yo, y'all seeing this shit? Yo, what the f***? This just standing like Jesus in the middle of the court.
Yeah, that sucks. I remember getting roasted by my friends because I was like the only person that was like the live like fanboy at the whole lunch table. Everybody else was like 2K to bust. At one point they started calling me Jesus Shuttlesworth. I was among the plenty of other nicknames I had. Milk Bakery was one of my nicknames because nobody could actually say my full name. Oh, Kids Meal, because I was like mad short and mad fat, so everybody just started calling me Kids Meal. I was 4'11" my freshman year of high school. Very short. Now I'm good. We cracked that 6-foot marker, baby. Late growth spurts. Let's go. All my homies out there with Oscar Schlatter, you know what I'm talking about. Let's go. Late growth spurts, baby. Late growth spurts. Why am I throwing up West Side? Because I'm from the West Side, baby. Let's go. Come on. Anyway. So what ended up happening? Well, essentially, EA tried to jam too many things into one package. Not only had they tried to update the game with new modes, they looked to redesign player models, update the graphics, and change the core gameplay and control mechanism, all in one 18-month development cycle, which is how you get this. And the game has really been in recovery mode ever since, almost a decade later. The next two versions of the game were cancelled. NBA Live 14 was supposed to be the renaissance, grand comeback, and ended up being one of the worst games ever created. Like, straight up, not just sports games or recent games, straight up one of the worst video games ever created, and that's coming from me. And this was effectively the nail in the coffin for the franchise, and really killed whatever trust remaining Live fans had in the series. The outside looking in, it looked like NBA Live 11, then 3 years of nothing, NBA Live 14 comes out at another incomplete product, and yeah, it sucked, it really sucked, it sucked. And I got roasted again. It wasn't like the game didn't sell well. It actually sold about half of what 2K sold that year, which is pretty good considering how poor an impression the last version of the game was. But that is the last time they've ever been able to sell anything remotely close to those figures. After NBA Live 14, consumer trust went completely out the window. I mean, man, they did everything under God's green earth to revive any sort of support in the series, even making a game in NBA Live 19 that was a comparable product to their competitors. And still, nothing. The franchise was still selling poorly due to the stigma and perception that had built up over the years, and to be honest, rightfully so. And those mistakes, while very real, weren't necessarily avoidable. Unlike other games where if they're incomplete, they can try and delay it. The NBA has a contract with both 2K and EA requiring them to release their games on the same day, such that neither have a competitive advantage over the other. So if the game is incomplete come September, you're getting an incomplete game. Simple as that. Now, this agreement with the NBA also confirms a few other things to make sure both competitors are on as level a playing field as possible, such as cost, where for a fixed period of time after release, both products must maintain an equal price. So in subsequent years, when EA knew the product wasn't going to sell well and not a lot of people were going to buy it, they didn't have the option of dropping their price significantly at launch in order to lower the barrier for entry, and use that as a means of slowly building up their following. It's a huge risk to be curious about a game that's $70, but if it's $7, you can be a bit more curious and impulsive and maybe just buy it for the heck of it. And to be honest, that's a lot of the reason EA hasn't released a live game since NBA Live 19. So as initially reported by VentureBeat's Jeff Grubb, EA has been planning to release NBA Live as a free-to-play title for some time. So rather than paying $60 or $70 for a new entry, the game would instead function more like Fortnite or Call of Duty Warzone. Free games with constant updates and microtransactions to generate revenue. But due to competition concerns by the league, EA hasn't allowed them to release the game as free to play. And because of this, they're stuck at a crossroads. If they sell the game at an equal cost to 2K, no one will buy it. If they try to discount it or release it for free, no one will download it. It's a nasty cycle. We've actually seen a few examples of this in the past too. 2K did this to their NFL game 15 years ago by dropping the price of NFL 2K5 to more than half that of Madden. And by doing that, they managed to grab a huge chunk of the market, which led to EA buying out the exclusive rights to NFL simulations. Kinda funny how the inverse of that is happening here, where 2K has an effective monopoly over basketball the same way EA has an effective monopoly over football. The world works in mysterious ways. A more recent example, EA has actually been on the opposite end of a similar conflict when it comes to their soccer franchise, FIFA. FIFA's main competitor, PES, has been playing second fiddle to EA for years. I actually go into detail about this in a video I'll link up here, which explains the business behind why and how FIFA has such a huge lead in sales over PES. But to summarize, the conversation around those games is maybe a little bit more nuanced than maybe the NBA franchises, because it's not just a better game that ends up having more sales. In fact, you could make an argument that PES is a superior game to FIFA. I'm not making that argument, it's an argument that can be made. But what's also different about soccer games versus NBA or NFL games is that they actually bid for the rights for different leagues across the world. FIFA has managed to corner the market by essentially buying up exclusive rights to most of the world's largest soccer leagues. PES does have some workarounds. They still have real rosters, but fake team names, jerseys, and logos. That said, if you're on PlayStation or PC, you can download user-created files, kind of like 2K Share, that allow you to get all the authentic names, jerseys, and logos in the game. So it kind of works itself out, but it's definitely quite the barrier for the everyday user. Sorry, airplane going by. And this shows in the numbers. In 2019, FIFA sold 12.2 million copies, compared to PES's 500,000. FIFA sold almost 24 times the number of games as their competitor. But to combat the lack of licenses and subsequent loss of sales, PES changed their model to be a free-to-play game, making their money on the back end through microtransactions instead. The verdict is still out on whether this will or won't be an effective strategy, given this is only the first year they fully adopted this model. That said, based on how PES performs, and more importantly, how it affects FIFA sales in the coming years, this could become precedence for what happens with NBA Live in 2K. If PES going free-to-play has a negligible effect on FIFA sales over the next few years, there may be an argument to be made that NBA Live turning free-to-play wouldn't affect 2K sales at all, and therefore mitigate any of the competition concerns that the NBA has, allowing EA to adopt this pricing model, and in the process also providing 2K with some much needed competition, while giving us live fans, the few, the proud, the fans, something to live for. Because yeah, that's all I have to live for. It's just mediocre basketball games. That's all I am. Just a mediocre basketball fan on YouTube making videos about mediocre basketball games. What a shame. Alright, y'all. Thank y'all so much for making it through another video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're just starting out here, and any support we can get is greatly appreciated. Also, if you're a fan of NBA video games, I did a retrospective up here where we went through all the NBA video games that were released over the past like 20-30 years and kind of explained why each and every single one is no longer around and why 2K effectively has a monopoly that it does today. It's pretty good, and actually I think it would make both a good sequel and prequel to this video. Whichever order you watch them, well, it's kind of too late. You're at the end of this video, so watch that one next. It makes for a good sequel. I appreciate y'all, for real. Thank y'all so much for all the support, all the love, and all the positivity. Have a great rest of your day. Love y'all. Peace.
What the f? Yo, y'all seeing this shit? Yo, what the f? This just standing like Jesus in the middle of the court. Look at this